Saturday Social is powered by EA Sports FIFA 23 with PlayStation.
All right, we're going to move it on, OK, because we talked about overrated. We're going to talk positivity about players that are coming through, because this week Bukayo Saka was named Premier League Player of the Month for March. What a season he's having, by the way. The only player to have double figures in goals and assists in the Premier League. And, of course, I was at Wembley on Sunday, scored a screamer for England against Ukraine. What a player this boy is. And, of course, it got us thinking about WONDERKIDS, because he's still under the age of 21. We're going to talk 21 years old and under, which blows my mind because of how well he's playing.
Some of the talent in the Premier League at that age is just frightening right now. And there's been lots of talk online about who is the best youngster in the Premier League. So today we've got the Saturday Social whiteboard in ranking fashion right now. A down to E. We've got 10 of the most talked about 21 and under players in the Premier League, one from each club. We haven't taken all of the clubs, obviously, but the most talked about names. And we're going to ask our guests to put them in categories. You've got to have 2 names in each category. And we're basing it on how high their ceiling is. Okay. So how good are they going to become? Okay. Happy with that?
Robbie, first up, Bukayo Saka. Unbelievable player.
If you disagree with that, trust me.
No.
End of the show.
Straight in A.
Yeah,
got to be, isn't he?
Yeah,
is he the best youngster in the league?
Yes.
I think at the moment he is.
The only reason that he may not be is because he's so experienced now and he's so good now that it feels almost unjust to compare him. Like, you can't compare Bukayo Saka to Brendan Johnson. It feels unjust because he's now so good. He needs to be compared to the very best in the world.
But we will be comparing him to Brendan Johnson because he's one on the tier list, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. But I just want to bring it back to Bukayo Saka. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, I'm putting him close to being the best right winger in the world.
Yeah. He's up there. I think what remains is going to be like when we get into the Champions League. How does he perform in that? I'm confident he'll do really well. But I think once he sort of cements that, then you can start putting him in that sort of world-class bracket. But he does it for his country. He does it consistently for Arsenal. He was our best player last season as well. You know what I mean? Him and Smith Rowe. I just think he's just absolutely brilliant.
Do you know what I think?
As well.
His attitude, do you know what I think really does demonstrate his brilliance? The fact that he has that position in the England team sewn up. It's his now. Like, you know, over the years, there's been some debate. You know, we've seen Mason Mount out there. We've seen Phil Foden out there. We've seen loads of different players given an option. And when you think about the tussle that's going on the other side, at one point that was Raheem Sterling's, but that's now in jeopardy. When you do the England team, it's Kane, first name on the team sheet, Saka, next name on the team sheet. He's a child.
I'd agree.
It's amazing.
Kane, Saka, Bellingham, they're just nailed on at certain players. But amazing player. I think we'd all agree, got to go in A.
Absolutely. Who's the next name you've got in the list?
Ceiling-wise...
Just go in the order you've got the magnets there. Go in the order you've got the magnets there.
I'm going to put Garnacho, right? Man United. I'm probably going to have to...
Still only 18, I think you've got to remember with Alejandro
For the ceiling,
Garnacho.
I think he is.
I might put him in the A, you know. I might put him in the A because...
Wow, remember you
only have 2 in
We're
A.
only allowed 2 per category. That's the only thing we do. I think Garnacho is class. And, you know, when you think back over the season, you've got defining moments for Manchester United. Remember, just before we broke for the World Cup against Fulham, he scores a last-minute winner, a teenager doing it. It feels very Manchester United, and his pace is electrifying. The only reason I would say maybe we've got to be a bit careful here, Rob, putting him in A, is because we're only allowed 2 per...
Yeah, do you want to bring him down into...
I'll bring him down into B.
OK.
Yeah.
And you can always move the players around as they come, because it's difficult. These are all WONDERKIDS.
He's a game changer. He's off the bench. He's just sensational. He's so good.
Evan Ferguson
at Brighton. I think...
Robbie's going high with all of them. Robbie, spread them across the board.
This is why he couldn't do the overrated, underrated, because he just rates everybody.
No, because remember, we're talking about what his ceiling's going to be.
Yeah.
Now, he's doing it at the moment at Brighton, right? And his ceiling will be higher than Brighton. He's only 18, and his ceiling will go higher than that, because if he keeps doing what he's doing now, he will get that move to an even bigger club, and, you know, he's really, really impressed me.
And the list of clubs that are being linked with him. Have you seen the clubs keeping tabs on him? I mean, it's the very elite of Europe. Yeah. It's amazing.
Some of the goals he's scoring as well. The goal in the cup against Grimsby where he takes it down, touch out of his feet and bends it in the bottom corner.
No, he's a brilliant player. I'd be inclined to, you know, I was thinking that we need to be a bit careful here, but I can't see anyone off the top of my head thinking about this eclipsing Ferguson in that.
Would you take him at Chelsea in the summer in your number 9 role? You've got a number 9 hole there.
Obviously, he would start for Chelsea tomorrow. He'd obviously start for Chelsea.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Okay, next up.
Next name on the, up as a magnet, Rob.
It's all in random order, Robbie. So you don't need to do them from A to E. Just pick them in random order.
All right, from Liverpool, I can never pronounce his name.
Bajcetic.
Yeah.
There you go.
Gotta go at it.
I'd have to put him in maybe in the B category because again, I think his ceiling is high. No?
I like how you're doing it though. You
don't have to build from A to E. You can go in.
I genuinely.
This isn't Tetris. Doesn't agree with the foundations from the bottom. Yeah.
It's a Tetris. but
You like that game? Cheers, mate.
That's a good one.
Thanks, mate.
But I think I'm just looking at what he's done this season.
Yeah, he does look
Burst on the
very
scene.
tidy player, doesn't he?
18, 19?
And the
in the
position that he
midfield.
plays, to play that position with the maturity that he does is very impressive. He's so cultured on the ball. The future is huge for him.
Sad for him that he's out for the season.
Yeah,
Obviously picked
that
up that injury.
that
He's
is,
now out for the
that
season.
is,
I think that's a big blow for Liverpool.
I like this so far. I think we've got it right of the four, but
I don't even know who's coming next, but I reckon Robbie puts him in C.
I mean, the Chelsea name that's to come, I think, is a very strong candidate to go high on this list.
All right, let's go with that Chelsea name. Where is he?
I know who you're going to go here. Badiashile, right?
Benoit
Badiashile,
Badiashile, who's
yes.
come in and for me made the biggest impact of any of your signings.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think Enzo Fernandez has been good as well, but I think you're right. The jewel in the crown of Chelsea's £500 million that we've spent, I think you're right, is Benoit Badiashile. And I think we've made a terrible error not having him available in the Champions League.
Yeah, he's been brilliant.
Yeah.
So we put him in.
I just can't cope.
Okay, so
I'm going to put him in the C.
I think that's
You know what?
really
That's
harsh on Benoit.
Yeah.
Is Badiashile not...
French international now as well, and you look at the competition places they've got there in the international
And
scene.
I think at that age, to be a left-footed centre-back who is just so in demand, left-footed centre-backs, as dominant as he's been in the Premier League.
play for Chelsea and France.
To come in January.
Yeah, and change the shape of the
he has
defence.
been good.
The other thing is to
So who do
remember...
I move then?
You know when Thiago Silva got injured?
Yeah.
The level of performance
Flawless,
didn't
yeah.
drop at all.
Yeah, and as you said, not including the Champions League squad very, very harshly. So do you now swap somebody out? Do you want to move him into
let's
C?
see. Maybe we get a few more on the board and then we can kind of get a bit
You can
tactical.
continue to move it and go. Okay.
Brendan Johnson.
Oh.
Like him, man. Very good player. Nottingham Forest. I think he's going to get better and better. Young player, good finisher.
Yeah, I agree with everything,
international.
but his ceiling isn't as high as, say,
5 goals and 2 assists in 2023.
Yeah, 7 goals this season for Forest. Very
well,
impressive.
let's see who's come next, and we can always move, as you said.
I do like this player, Elise.
Michael
He's
Elise.
a top quality player. Where would I put him?
I mean, he's a fantastic player, Elise.
Put him in a.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, went to Palace from Reading, looked excellent there, scored a great goal against Manchester United in the last minute this year, but
Most assists.
I don't see him. Do you ever see him playing in the Champions League?
Most assists, most chances created in the Premier League for Palace this
Do you
season.
see Elise getting a Champions League club?
Yeah, maybe I'll drop him.
You know what?
down.
He's got 10 Premier League assists in the last 2 seasons. The only player aged 21 or under with more is Bukayo Saka.
He is good. I love watching him play, man. He's so.
But you're putting him in E.
So naturally gifted. So,
Okay, well,
just
to
for
be
now,
fair,
I might shift it.
To be fair, I think it's clear to make the point that these aren't like E is not bad footballers.
No.
These are just like
It's just
all of these
ceiling.
players are
He's-
fantastic footballers.
It's just that Elise's not going to have the same ceiling as Saka. It's not
And of course,
offensive.
worth pointing out, we did stipulate that there's got to be 2 players in each category for them.
2 players have to be in each category. Where are we
3
going
more
next?
remaining.
Who we got, Rob?
Tough, man. I like this kid, man. Nonto.
Nonto.
I mean, excellent player.
Yeah.
Really is an excellent player. Sort of reminds you of like a mini Bukayo Saka, the way he plays. You know what I mean? Like.
Busy, isn't he?
Already
Yeah.
capped by Italy as well. That's got to be one of the bargains of the season, by the
Yeah.
way.
Was he
£5 million.
18?
Yeah.
So young.
His
Unreal.
ceiling's very high as well.
His
I think,
ceiling,
'cause
yeah.
he's
When
so
you think
young.
about the potential to be playing for Italy at that tender age, I feel like he could.
His ceiling's going to be higher.
Maybe there, maybe in a similar category. To
I think there's a
Badiashile.
name coming that is going to mean there's a lot of movement on this board.
Yeah, I mean, what about
Rico Lewis. He can't go in D. Rico Lewis cannot go in D.
No, he
can't go in
He
D,
can't
can
because
he?
he's already playing for Manchester City. He's already playing for Guardiola, which immediately places him above Nonto, for example. It has to.
I'm starting to think, does he even go ahead of...
Does it put him above Garnacho?
You've got to think Rico Lewis is
Rico
playing
Lewis
in a
could-
position at right back that is also a centre mid in the most difficult system to learn in the Premier League in Pep Guardiola.
Also, who he's keeping out of the team as well. for Man
Carl
City with-
Walker's
with-
at times this season. You know,
And
Cancelo's
the fact
left
that he is
potentially
already
because of
doing
him.
Oh, Nonto in D. Wow.
Yeah, I think you've done well there.
Who's the final player in the hand?
Final player.
Amadou
Even
Onana.
again,
Who we gone?
Amadou Onana, the
Amadou
Everton
Onana.
player.
Wow.
I couldn't believe Onana's still only 21.
Yeah.
He's just been so good for Everton this
Yeah,
season.
I remember when we played him at Goodison, he was excellent, man. He was everywhere, you know. And he's a big dude
so
as well, you know.
Do you not think that Amadou Onana is that's, you know, if Everton struggle to stay up this season, or, you know, finishing amongst the relegation spots, is he not a player that all of the top 8 sort of sides will be looking at as a potential young central midfielder?
I would potentially have him over Johnson. I'm just looking at any changes I'd make. I think that would be my change. I think I would have Onana over Brendan Johnson. But aside from that, I think this...
I would have Gnonto higher, personally. I think if we're talking ceilings for the age...
The problem is we not take out those, Smithy. So we might, but there's no obvious person to...
And you've got to think Rico Lewis 18, Garnacho is 18, Bujicic 18...
we've also given them a wild card option, haven't we? So we said there's another player that we haven't thought... Well, we have thought of them, but we obviously stipulated that you can only have one per club. That was the stipulation. So we said one other player you wanted to bring to the party. Who are you bringing?
I'm bringing Carney Chukwuemeka.
Okay.
I think he's potential. You know, we're talking about ceilings here. You've got to remember, like, he is already the 4th most expensive player that Aston Villa have ever sold. Like, that is how highly he is rated. That is how much money he...
Not getting much game time, though, is it?
No, he's not. He's not getting enough game time. He's not getting enough game time, I think.
Just said it under
Nobody's ruining anybody. he's not getting enough game time, but I think he's on course to play more for Chelsea this season than he played for Aston Villa last season.
Yeah.
I think that part of the reason there is because of the move to Chelsea. He didn't play as much towards the latter half of last season. Gerrard stopped playing him and that. But ultimately, ceiling-wise, like, I truly believe that Chukwuemeka will go to the very top.
Okay.
Good player if he gets a game time, but I'm going for Gabriel Martinelli.
Yeah, having a great season.
But £6 million we paid for him. You're talking about 20 million. £6 million. Came to the country, couldn't speak English. Has been brilliant since he's come in, but now he's found his feet at Arsenal. And going back to the Mudryk thing, if Mudryk costs 88 million, what's he worth? He's been exceptional this season.
So where would you put Martinelli on this list?
I'd have Martinelli if I was putting him in a category. Go on. I'd have to have him up here, and I'm not just Arsenal bias. I'm saying his ceiling is really, really high.
I think Chukwuemeka, if we were putting him on here, I think he'd be similar to Garnacho and Badiashile put him there. And I agree with Martinelli, by the way. I think Martinelli is just
so good.
Like, unplayable.
He's so strong.
That last season.
They agree on something. There we go. So there is confirmation of their tier list for some of the most talked about wonder kids in the Premier League.